What's up guys, welcome to this review of 21 Bridges, starring Chadwick Boseman. He plays a cop who, on one night, two crooks break into this place, find a load of cocaine, steal it, bunch of cops show up, bang bang bang, big shootout, crooks on the run. Rest of the film's all about catching them and getting revenge on the crooks for killing the cops. That's essentially all the film's about. There's a little bit more to it, a little few more layers there, but that's getting into spoiler territory. Overall, what did I think of the film? I thought it was enjoyable. I'm not going to say it's good, it does have problems, but it's certainly a film that if you go to, it's intense, it's exciting, there's a lot of cool action scenes in there, it's an enjoyable night out. Now, the problem is the story is lacking in some areas, so are the characters. They've got this cool idea of the 21 bridges, and the core concept is that in order to catch these crooks, they shut off Manhattan, block the bridges and the tunnels and every way off this island so they can try and catch them. Well, the problem is, this doesn't really play into the plot all that much. In fact, they literally establish this and then say, right, we can only do it to a certain time limit. So all it really does is give the good guys a time limit. But you never really see how the crooks react to this. You never see how their plan or strategy changes because it seemingly doesn't. So yeah, it's kind of like, right, it's a really cool idea and concept, you just haven't really used it a lot. So that's a bit disappointing. But overall, the story is very simplistic. It's basically a revenge story. The first 15 minutes establishes Chadwick Boseman's character. The final 10-15 minutes acts as a epilogue to summing everything up. And then the middle is just full on action. Very noirish, very pulpy action movie. And again, it's fun and enjoyable. The problem is some of the themes and the messages in the film are iffy. Because this film is very much like the good guys aren't necessarily the good guys and the bad guys aren't necessarily entirely bad. So who are you rooting for here? And because of that, because it is about getting revenge on killing some cops and catching some bad guys, but the people doing it aren't necessarily the good guys, the themes and messages are confusing. Should I be rooting for the cops and the bad guys, even though they're going in, shooting everyone on sight, and being very aggressive, very violent? There's clearly some messages there about police brutality and corruption and so on, and I'm not quite sure that the messages are getting across very well. I'm not sure if it's a good message, I can't tell if it's a bad message, but they're there. There's also the problem with the characters, like I said. Chadwick Boseman is good in the role. In fact, all the acting in the film is pretty good, although there are some questionable accents here and there. It's like the director went to a half of the cast and said, right, you're in New York, this is the accent you should do. The rest of you, just do your normal stuff. So there is this very strong accent being portrayed by a lot of the characters. Sometimes it's a little iffy, sometimes it's more distracting than anything else, and a lot of the characters don't have much to do in the film except run around acting tough and being all intense and aggressive. And that's fine, they do a good job of it, but Chadwick Boseman's character is the only character that really has a good fleshing out a bit, and even then that's just in the beginning of the film. The rest of the film he's pretty straight-faced and normal. So the problem is that there's no character development, no character growth in this film at all. Chadwick Boseman, the main character in the film, is exactly the same at the beginning of the film as he is at the end. He doesn't change, he doesn't realise much of anything that affects him personally. If anything, it just makes him even more intense and aggressive than what he was to begin with, but it's not much of a difference, it's not much of an arc that he goes on. So it's really tough to root for this guy because of that. And the same can be said for every other character in the film. They are stereotypes, they are one note, but again, well acted, and the characters are somewhat interesting. It's just a shame that there's not more to them, and that they don't have much more to do than chase after the bad guys. Speaking of the bad guys, one played by Taylor Kitsch, the other one I'm not familiar with the actor's name, but they're fine. Again, they are a little on the stereotypical side, they are a little bland and basic. One's this much more a thuggish, he's going to do whatever it takes. The other one's a bit more of intelligent. He thinks things through. He's got more plan in his mind. And yeah, their relationship is interesting. It does delve into that. It just basically says, right, this is how they met. That's kind of all there is to it. But yeah, 21 Bridges, I would say I like the look of the film. It's got a great production values. It's on set, not set, it's on location in New York. Great lighting. It looks like it was shot entirely at nighttime. It does take place entirely at nighttime. But good use of lighting, very noirish, lots of colour in the flashing lights and backgrounds, good use of shadows. It's a good looking film, I would say, overall. It's also really well paced, I would say. Like I said, the first 10-15 minutes sets things up, the final 10-15 minutes wraps things up pretty well, and the middle is just like non-stop rollicking action, and it's great. It kept me interested all the way through. I never felt bored. I never felt like it was slowing down. And again, the film's only about an hour and a half, so it's not a long film. But yeah, it's a well-made film in terms of the actual direction and so on, and the editing and so on, and production side of things. The writing probably could have done a bit more of character development in there, a bit more story in there. But it is a really good, fun, action-packed, intense, enjoyable film, and I liked it. I would kind of recommend it. So, yeah, it's not going to be for everyone, though. Like I said, some of the themes and messages I think are questionable. I don't think it gets its messages and themes across all that well. So, just be warned about that. If you've liked this review, I'm Grant Burton. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_Grant Burton. Also subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers I get, the more content like this I can make. And I hope you've liked this video. Until next time though, I'm not going to go into spoilers. There's not really much more to say about it. So, thanks for watching.